Hello, good evening. Welcome to my live stream on YouTube. Today is, what day is it? It's Friday, the 6th of February, 2026. Let me make sure this is top. Sorry about this. I'm going to stay a couple of hours, as always, depending on how the flow goes. It should be a couple of hours if things go well. And for those who don't know me, I am a therapist and coach, and I come here on YouTube a couple of times per week to give you some advice, suggestions, recommendations about anything to do with mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, emotional intelligence, mindset, mindfulness, and anything that we can use to enhance our quality of life from those places. And so my mission is to raise a level of self-awareness so that people understand their full potential as human beings. So that's it. The way I start my live streams until there are more people watching is by reading and commenting on some of my posts. And so I'm both on TikTok and YouTube. And I post 3 short videos every day on both platforms. And I also post 1 long form video weekly on YouTube. And I come live every Wednesdays and Fridays, twice a week on YouTube as well. And so let's get started. If there's anyone there, could you let me know if you can hear me well, please? I've been using my mic the whole day and it should be charged, but if there's any problem, I can always unplug it. First post I'm going to read and comment about goes like this. Everything you own and anyone you meet in life is borrowed and limited in time. Letting go is releasing back into the universe what is no longer yours to have, to make space for new people, new lessons, and new experiences. And so the idea behind this is that we must learn how to live without attachment, because nothing that we have and no one that we meet are ever going to be with us forever. Accepting that we're here to have an experience, and that part of the experience is to have something but also no longer have it, is what allows for us to have an easier experience. I hope it makes sense. Next, listening without trying to fix is an expression of emotional intelligence and can be perceived as unconditional love and support, which is what the vast majority of us want. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be to know that we're accepted as we are, as opposed to thinking that there's something wrong with us and people want to change us. Something to think about. We all want to help others, but it's very important to realize that there's a time and a place and a way to do this. Next post. People who judge you for going no contact with your parents and are telling you that you should forgive them no matter what because they're your parents are probably terrible parents too. And so this is to highlight how, for any situation, we should have a better idea of all perspectives before we can have a judgment of it. We don't really want to judge, but before we can have an idea of what is going on. But very often, when people are siding with the parents' side straight away without asking anything, they are coming from a place that is dangerous, because it's about respecting the elderly no matter what. And this is just wrong. The old patriarchal system is based on that. You should respect the elderly always. And why? There's no reason as to why. People, regardless of our age, we can be good human beings or we can be nasty and toxic. And so, yeah, this was the idea behind it. Next post. You only suffer this moment because you believe that happiness exists somewhere else. If you can find something to feel good about in this moment, you never need to be anywhere else. And so this is about mindfulness and gratitude. We're unhappy because our mind is traveling in other planes. And so We can be unhappy because of regret or resentment. And those things exist in the past. It's when we're thinking about something past that we feel those experiences. But we can also suffer from fear, anxiety, or desire. And those things exist in the future. Right here and now, there are a lot of things that we can appreciate if we can find them, and that will allow us to be happy just as we are, without waiting for something to happen, without expecting for anything else. I hope it makes sense. Emma Chirton, hi Didi. Yes, hearing you fine. Fantastic, thank you. So guys, again, just so you know, I'm here to take questions and talk about anything you would like me to talk about, as long as it's related to the mind, perception of reality, emotional intelligence, why we do the things we do, why we react to one another the way we do, why is the world in such a state, and what can we do about it. Just ask me anything and I will do my best to give you some actionable advice, hopefully. Next post. This one I borrowed from Neil deGrasse Tyson. You are made of stars, literally. We are made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen that came from the Big Bang. And so the next time you are in awe of a sky full of stars, remind yourself that you are part of the universe, not separate from it, not alone in it. We suffer from the illusion of separation, but if we could find a way to remember that we are part of something, it's not us versus the world, it's not us versus reality, it's not us versus destiny. We are part of everythingness, and so that shift of mindset changes a lot. Okay, I've got one comment from Jean D+. Hello, Jean. Hi, Didi. Is it better to believe that I just am, without thinking I'm good or bad, or to have good thoughts about myself, I have low self-esteem? It depends. We fluctuate in different contexts all the time, and so everything is contextual. And so there are times where it's easier for you to just be, and you do this when you practice mindfulness and meditation, for instance. However, most of the time you're going to interact with people because we are human beings living in a reality full of other human beings. So we need to remind ourselves of who we are as our ego, as a person, and this is what we want to address. And so if you say that you have low self-esteem, you don't want to ever think of yourself as good or bad. You are that you are because of everything that happened to you up to this point. And so there's no good or bad. Good and bad only exist in regards to context. So we are not bad. Some of our actions can be bad. Some of the things that we do, some of the things that we allow can create hurts for others. So within that context, what we do and say or allow can be bad. But it's only within a specific context to some people and at a certain time. You are not bad. We react, we behave, we do the things we do, we think the way we think, and everything about ourselves is just a program. It is literally everything that happened to us that has created all of those filters and triggers that are creating our reactions, our perception of the world and reality. And so no one is inherently good or bad. If anything, we're all born good. We are all, as babies, we're all coming to this world happy, seeking love and connection, and being curious about the world. And as we grow up, we are being infected by the fear of the adults. We get traumatized. Or maybe for some of us, a minority of us, we have a different type of brain where we have to learn empathy and compassion. And if we're not being taught that, we won't be able to do this. And that's how a lot of bad people are born. If they don't have empathy, that's how they can hurt others, because they don't care about others' feelings, right? And so all of this to say, we are all, for the vast majority of us, born good. And for those who have a propensity not to connect with others, if we had a family or society or a culture that taught us how to have empathy, then there will be no problem. And so no one is bad. However, because of XYZ, many of us will end up doing things, saying things, allowing things that hurt others. So within that context, we are bad to them, right? And so if you want to heal, if you want to change, if you want to address your low self-esteem, you want to realize that the low self-esteem is not necessarily something that is bad either. Originally, the low self-esteem was a system that your mind created to protect you. If I believe that I can't be seen, I can't be heard, I can't express myself the way that I want to, because whenever I did that as a child, I was punished, then your mind is going to create low self-esteem to protect you from expressing yourself, to protect you from connecting with people, from showing them how you really feel. It's like shyness or being an introvert. Those systems are actually defense mechanisms that are born from some level of trauma. We are naturally designed to connect with people. Now, we're not all extroverts. We all have a different level of energy. But if you have low self-esteem, it is a protection mechanism. And so there's nothing wrong about you or bad about you. It's just that you have been through certain things in your life, in your childhood, that have created, that have put those systems into place for you. I hope it makes sense. And so if you want, we can talk about this and we can address the low self-esteem. You shouldn't have low self-esteem. No one should, because we are here to experience our human experience. And the most important aspect of it is self-love, connection, being able to do the things we want to do. And for this, we need self-esteem. Self-esteem is essentially a part of us that is telling us that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve the good things in life. And this is terribly limiting and disempowering as far as our human experience is concerned. Do you want to talk more about this, Jean? Pumpkin Puff. Hi Didi, how are you today? I'm very good. Thank you so much. I had a very good day yesterday as well. Great things happening at the moment. Very uplifting news. So yes, I had a call with my mum yesterday that was very positive. I'm very, very still thinking about it and so happy. I've been very productive. I talked to a lot of people. I produced some content. I've been to the hospital yesterday, did a lot of different check. Everything seems to be okay so far. So yes, life is good. Thank you for asking. How about you? Pumpkin Puff. Oh, yay. So for those like you and I who have BPD, sometimes being able to reconnect with some people from the past is so important. I'm sure that you have an idea of what I mean. Pumpkin Puff, I'm so proud for you. Thank you so much. Thank you for remembering this. This is an old post that I've done a while ago saying that we shouldn't be proud of other people because whatever they do has got nothing to do with us. We should be proud with them or for them. When we say I'm proud of you, it's like we are putting the blanket over ourselves. When people are saying to me that they're proud of me, there's a part of me that wants to say, it's not your business. You didn't do anything. It's my stuff. It's my thing to be proud of. Don't be proud of me. You can be proud with me, or you can be proud for me. So there you go. That's why Pumpkin Puff is saying, I'm so proud for you. Everything that we say makes a difference. And for some of us, little things can make a big difference. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, I know exactly what you are talking about. It's a wonderful feeling, and it feels like you can do anything. When we reconnect with some people from the past, yeah, if that's what you mean. Yeah. We had a lot of clashes and problems all of our lives, my mum and I. And so we've worked on it over a long period of time. And things have changed a lot a long while ago. But every now and then, there's small things that still change. And it's very, very, very empowering and satisfying. Yeah. So that's it for now, guys. Is there anything you'd like me to talk about? Or would you like me to keep on reading and commenting on some of my own posts? Remember, I come here to give some recommendations. It's literally what I come here for. Judith, I'm happy for you. I feel awkward when people say they're proud of me too. Thank you. All right, thank you. There's a part of me that overreacts and takes things personally, and can create funny thoughts. Pumpkin Puff. I'm just existing today. I had a really rough day yesterday. But today I'm working for growth. Okay, good on you. That sounds good. I listened to the monks walking for peace this morning. Okay, okay. I have an awareness of that, but I'm not following what they're doing, but it sounds like a good thing anyway. Jean D+. Thank you. I agree. I see that people are not good or bad, even when they do bad things. I try not to be so shy, but my inner voice keeps putting me down. Is this normal at my age of 37? There's no such thing as normality. We're all different. What matters is how you feel about yourself and if you're ready to expand, or if you feel that it's safer for you to stay as you are for now. We come into this life to expand and grow and evolve. We're not here to survive. We can survive if we have to, but we are not here to survive. Any cell, any organism exists to expand. And so we survive because there's a part of us that believes that we need to survive, that we are not safe. And that's what is holding us from accessing our full potential and become the creator of our life. However, we all have a different history. And so if you feel that you're not ready to change and it's easier for you to keep going with your system for now, it's absolutely fine. We all have different systems to go through life and navigate through it. But it's important to realize and to remind ourselves, to remember that we're here not to stay safe. We're here once we're able to grow, to change, right? And so if you're able to see that not people are not good or bad, it's a great thing to be able to realize. Not most of us, we react to things, again, out of fear. So people are good or bad because we need to know what the world is about. I don't feel safe. I need to know who are labeled good and who are bad. But if you can realize that even the worst people in the world, they are the way they are because of their upbringing and belief, and we don't choose those things. And so that makes things easier. And that gives us a chance to help some people who may be able to change, no matter how bad they may be in that moment. I was watching a little bit of television yesterday with my husband, and he loves that series about John Wayne Gacy, a serial killer, I'm sure that many knows, from the 70s, 80s. And he loves those sort of things, so he watched the whole thing. And at the end, I asked him, do you feel sorry for John Wayne Gacy, or do you hate him? How do you feel about him? And he said to me, I always felt sorry for serial killers because he understands that no one chooses that. Now, he and I also feel sorry for the victims and for the families of the victims. It's not one or the other. We suffer in this world because we believe that it's got to be one side or the other when you think of black and white. So are you on the perpetrator side or the victim side? When actually we should be on both sides and realize that we are all fulfilling our destiny. We all have our set of belief or impulses, of limitations. Some of us don't have empathy, and it's not our fault either. And we are all the victim of whatever system we have, and we clash with each other. And so the way that I see it, everyone is a victim of those unfortunate or even atrocious, terrible situations. It's not the bad guys versus the good guys. Even the bad guys, they suffer that life. Who would enjoy this? And so, yeah. So good on you. Let me go back. I try not to be so shy. So we can talk about this if you want. But again, as I said, sometimes it's easier for now to just keep going with the system that we put into place. My inner voice keeps putting me down. Is this normal? So yeah, so that's, let's move on to the next thing. There's no such thing as normal. You can create a new normal for you whenever you're ready, if you are. Pumpkin Puff, they talked about how we react. It's like holding a fire rope. Okay, the monks. And when we react to others, you both barbecue, but we shouldn't affect others with our reactions. If we can, so in an ideal world, we're all at peace. We don't have baggage. We don't have trauma. We don't have any conditions. But it's not the world we live in. But I appreciate that it is the direction we want to go towards too. I would agree with that. Jean D+, yes, it does make it easier. Okay, yeah, we agree on that. Pumpkin Puff, every time I react, it feels like I'm setting myself on fire. but I'm actually also affecting my husband and feel so shameful after. But I really need to remember that I can take a few moments to breathe. And remember, so many times we talked about this. You can't control, you can't change, you can't decide your reactions. It's not possible. Your reactions are your subconscious automatic pilot, and it's all emotional. No one can do anything about it, especially if you have BPD. However, some people reactions will not be so intense, but it's not because they are stronger, better controlling their emotions. It's because they have less trauma. It's because their brain is not working the way our brains are working. It's not because people are better. We need to stop that BS. And so, in other words, accept that whatever you feel is what you feel because of X, Y, Z, and it's okay. You don't want to have shame. It's not because of you. All of this is due to a fault of your own. You never chose any of those things. What you can do, however, the next moment is to work on yourself. And the first thing that you want to do in order to work on yourself is that be kind to yourself. Remember, don't shame yourself. Every time you shame yourself, you are hurting your child inside of you. So let me reread your sentence. Every time I react, it feels like I'm setting myself on fire, but I'm actually also affecting my husband and feel so shameful after that. So whenever you are shameful about that, you are hurting your child. Stop doing this. I know that we don't do it on purpose, you don't think about it, but you are doing this. So think about it, remind yourself of that, and tell yourself, I did it again. It's okay. I'm going to love my child. He's unstable, he's all over the place, he's hurt, he's scared. But instead of me punishing him, I'm going to give him some love because this is what he wants. I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to give him some space, some time. Express yourself, do your thing. I'm here. It's all good. Okay? Stop shaming yourself. Pumpkin puff. But I do understand I'm not normal. No one is normal. BPD has just been really hard for me recently. No one is normal. And it's not that the BPD has been hard on you. It's just that your expectations have made it very hard on you. BPD has always been there. And I'm pretty sure that your episodes are getting better and better, or at least not as bad, or not as frequent, or not as long, because you've been working on yourself. Very often we don't realize that we're getting better in some capacity because we're just focusing on the bad stuff, on the expectations, on the arrival that is never here. And so it's not that the BPD has been bad to you, it's that you're expecting for everything to change right around now. That's the only reason you suffer. We talked about it many times. So stop doing this, right? Remind yourself, it's a journey. Every now and then it will suck. Every now and then it will feel painful, it will be hard. And it's okay. Accept it. There's nothing that you're going through now that you have not been through more and worse in the past. And so you've been there, you've done that, you can do it again. If you can have a better relationship with the bad stuff, the discomfort, the anger, the fear, the shame, the resentment, the pain, just feel those things and let them go. And then change the way that you look at yourself the next moment. Then this is how you get better. There's no such thing as normal, but it's true that your brain, just like my brain, is more volatile. It's harder for us to regulate emotionally because the part of the brain in charge of emotional regulation are underdeveloped because of our trauma. But it's a skill that you can learn how to develop over time. And so the best way to learn a skill is by connecting with yourself as opposed to punishing yourself. And you do this by stop shaming yourself. Learn how to love yourself, right? Thank you for the little hearts. Bespoke goat. Eastern philosophy is greater than modernity. I'm not sure what you mean by modernity, but I do appreciate Eastern philosophy indeed in general. For me, it's pretty much the one, if not the only type of philosophy that I believe are useful and positive. Pumpkin puff. Right, and I keep forgetting that. Okay. It just makes me feel like I'm weak for not going against my habit of reacting. You're not weak. You're human. Repeat after me. You're not weak. You're human. There's no such thing as weak. Again, everything is contextual. So when someone says that someone is weak, that's just judgmental, self-righteous, toxic, nasty. They are no good for anyone. Understanding that weakness is contextual changes everything. No one is weak. We are weaker or stronger at something within a certain specific set of context. So again, the example that I always give is that if I do a powerlifting competition compared to others, I will be stronger or weaker. But within the rules of the competition. It's the same thing if I was going to do play chess. I'm pretty weak because I can't play to save my life. So compared to people who can play, I am weak. But it's only within that context. No one is weak. No one is strong. We're weak at things and strong at things, and we're all weak and strong within different places and times. And so stop thinking this. All of us are old habits, right? The habits of people telling you that. Learn how to catch yourself. Learn how to realize, weak. It's just ridiculous. It's silly. I don't want to believe that anymore. You're not weak. You are human. And you are doing your best to change every day, and your best is enough. Thank you for your heart. Oh, ha, shu, pa, shu. Hello. Hi, Didi. How would you reconcile the relationship between setting high standards for yourself without them being self-punishing, yet maintaining boundaries in how you deserve to be treated by others? So there are two different things. Standards, boundaries, not the same things. I did a video, a short and a long video that got quite a lot of tractions on Instagram about this. And I did a long version on YouTube that I put out 2 days ago called the higher your standards, the lower your self-worth. And a lot of people came at me saying, how dare you say that? We need boundaries, or we need morals or whatever. And it's not what I mean. And that's why I created a long video so that people, some of them, if they really want to find out, they can watch it and understand what I meant. High standards is how you project yourself. It's how you see yourself. It's a sense of identity. Saying I have high standards means I'm not enough unless I reach those standards and I maintain them. Setting boundaries is different. Setting boundaries is saying to people, I don't want you to treat me like that. If you keep treating me like that, I will do that. It's got nothing to do with high standards. High standards is a sense of identity. It's how you portray yourself, how you present yourself to the world. I am better than others. I have high standards. I belong to the people who have higher standards. I belong to a higher, better, superior category of people. This is what having high standards means. You don't need to have high standards. If you love what you do, if you are good at what you do, is one thing. Having the high standards is expecting you to reach that level. If you're good at something, you don't need to have high standards. You love what you're doing. You know that you're good at that thing. You don't see yourself as, I am better than others. You do this because you are good at what you do and because you enjoy doing that thing. That's different. Does it make sense? And so having high standards is just, again, a label that we put on ourselves and that we are trying to get everyone to know about. I don't set high standards for myself, but I like to believe that I'm rather good in many aspects of my profession. But it's not because of the standards. It's because I love what I'm doing. It's because I'm obsessed with what I'm doing. It's because I care about what I'm doing. It's not because of what my ego tells me I should have as standards. Does it make sense? And you say, how do we reconcile the relationship between setting high standards for yourself without them being self-punishing? So this is it. High standards are self-punishing. I'm not enough. It's perfectionism. I'm not enough, and I will only be enough if I can present those standards to the world. As opposed to, I'm doing my best every day, and my best is good enough. That's it. Did that answer your question? Oha shupashu? Pumpkin Puff. How do I mentally accept that kindness for my outburst? I feel like I'm either insane or a monster. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. It takes help. So you are sought. You're looked after. I think, right? And you come to speak to me. So how do you accept that kindness for your outburst? We talked about it many times, so I'm going to repeat myself, and it's okay. Nothing that you are doing is because of you, and you have a child inside of you. If you are being unkind to your child, you're essentially telling your child what's wrong with you. Why are you born like that? I hate you like the way you are. Instead of thinking, okay, it's not your fault. I'm going to love you now because I can. Um, I feel like I'm either insane or monster. No, you're not. You're insane when you're overwhelmed. And so back to that conversation we had on Wednesday. Do you address your lifestyle? Do you address your environment? Do you do all the other things that are so important to your mental and emotional regulation? If I don't sleep well, I'm all over the place. I can't think straight. I react. I'm irritable. I get angry. If I don't eat well, same. If I don't exercise, same. If I don't go out, same. I need to do all of those things every day. Otherwise, I'm not the same person. I can't think straight. I take things personally. I can get really, really stressed out of nothing. I'm the same as everyone else. I'm aware that I have addressed my biggest triggers and have a lot of systems to help me deal with situations. However, I need to have a lifestyle and an environment that supports me. Otherwise, no matter what I've done, will not be enough to prevent me not being the state that you are being in. Right? And so, look in the right place. How do you mentally accept that kindness is deserved? By remembering everything we talked about. See that child inside of you. What do you want to do? Do you want to kick him in the face or do you want to give him a hug? It's that simple. It is that simple. Now, if you feel that you are insane or a monster, do all the other things. Sleep well, eat well, make sure that your gut microbiome is thriving. Exercise, move. Let go of the stress, the tension, minimize your exposure to stress as well. Do things that make you happy. Meet people, socialize, be creative, enjoy yourself. Practice meditation, mindfulness, spend time in nature, have some sun in your face every day if you can. All of those things and more. This is what you want to do. Do you do those things? This is the conversation that I want to have. If you do those things, that's all you can do, and you will get better. Okay? Oha Shupashu. Would you say authentic standards is the more fitting term than high standards? You don't need standards. Standards means you're not enough. I need standards. I'm not good enough. I need to have higher standards because I am, as a person, not enough as I am. You don't need standards. You need to accept that you are enough and just learn how to love yourself and do your best every day. And your best is good enough. We don't need standards. If you think that you need standards, it's because your parents, your teachers, some people who are important to you told you that you should have standards. Or maybe you saw them and you heard them and this is what they said, this is how they behaved. So you observed them and you learned how to behave like them. But you don't have to. You don't have to have standards. No one needs to have high standards. You just need to be happy. You just need to be, so you talk about authenticity. Yes, you want to be authentic as much as you can. You want to find out what it is to be you, to feel what you feel, to think what you think, to express how you want to express. And this is how we create a happy life. Now, of course, if you have some problems, we want to deal with that with some help. So we can talk about this. But you don't need high standards. Right? I hope it makes sense. As long as we believe that we need some high standards, a lot of people, they see themselves like, I'm a high achiever, I'm a high player, I'm a high performer, high. And it's the ego speaking. I'm not good enough, so I'm hiding myself behind a mask, behind a set of standards. Without those standards, I'm not good enough. And this is the lie, it's not true. If anything, if you let go of the standards, if you drop the mask, the shield, the suit of armor, the pretense, the performance, the act, then you can see your true self and you can realize, I'm good enough. And if some people disagree with that, it's their problem. Let them go. Focus on the good ones, the ones who can see your worth, your beauty, your talent, your quality, and your amazingness without those high standards. I hope it makes sense. And again, it doesn't mean that you don't love what you do. Some people can be extremely excellent at whatever they do, but they don't need the standards to get that. It's because they love what they're doing. It's because they've been doing it for a long time, and it's because they care about what they're doing. It's got nothing to do with standards. Does it make sense? Oha Shupashu. Pumpkin Puff, you're correct. Maybe I just need a tattoo for those things. It's so easy to forget that I'm just being mean to myself for feeling pain and not being able to process it properly. It's okay. You're here to vent, to let it out. And so I'm happy to take it. However, my job is to remind you of everything else. So that's why I'm saying this. If you feel that you have to tell me all of those things in the same way for the next 10 years, it's okay. Just do it. Let it out. However, I want you to learn to do your best to remind yourself after that it's just an old habit. It's just an old belief. It's just an old reactions. Now you can change. Every now you can change everything. I hope it makes sense. Thank you for the little heart. Bespoke Goat. For deep systems, understanding self-observation and modeling reality in a holistic way, the methods and epistemic frameworks developed in Eastern philosophy are more powerful than modern tools. I agree with you. Thank you. It's true that the foundations of of the vast majority of the things that we use in therapy are based on Eastern philosophies, and so we're talking about meditation, mindfulness, acceptance. All of those things are originally strong pillars of Eastern philosophies, indeed, and they've been there for a long time. So that's what makes it so special. It's not like something we've just discovered. I believe that a lot of ancient wisdoms from ancient civilizations all over the planet all understood those things in different ways. But they understood a lot of wisdom that we're now starting to relearn. Jean D+. What should I tell myself when I'm being rejected, when I put myself out there? You want to tell yourself that there's no such thing as rejection. Change the meaning of it. It's a redirection. When people say no to you, it doesn't mean that they don't want you. It means that you're not good for them. And so they're giving you the information that you're not good for them and that they're not good for you. So they're redirecting you towards something better. It's telling you that the universe has better plans for you than those people. The reason why we feel hurt when we are rejected is because of the meaning we give to that event. And so if someone says no to me, for instance, I used to take everything personally, and rejection was atrocious to me, again, because of whatever conditions that I have. And so when people said no, the way I would translate that no would be, there's something wrong with me. When they say no, it means that I'm ugly. It means that I'm stupid. It means that I am unlovable. It means that I don't deserve the good things in life. It means that I'm not good enough for people. This is what no meant to me. But I've done a lot of work on myself and I changed that meaning. And so when people say no to me now, it doesn't mean you're ugly, you're unlovable, you're stupid. It means no. That's it. It's got nothing to do with me. So it takes time, but you want to change the meaning of what you experience. We suffer from the meaning of things, not of what it is. Nothing is without the meaning that we give it. And so what you tell yourself when you're being rejected, you're not being rejected. You're being redirected. A lot of time, we want things, we have desire, we have want, and we're disappointed and we feel rejected because it doesn't coincide with the things that we want. But in reality, I'm sure that you can look back with hindsight and remember some situations where you didn't get the things that you wanted, but you get better. There was a reason behind it. And so think of your moment like that. Whatever is happening, there's a bigger plan, there's a reason behind everything. Everything happens for a reason, and the things that don't happen were not meant to happen for me yet, or if ever, anyway. And it's okay. The universe has bigger plans for you. It's what I call destiny. It's your best possible life. And so go along with it, go with your flow, listen to intuition, and let go of your expectations. It's good to have some wants and some desire. And sometimes the life matches our wants, and sometimes it doesn't, and it's also okay. We must accept that sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But if we can accept that, we're always winning. Because life is a process of win and lose. And life itself, it's about the process. It's not about the events or the moments. It's about the whole of it. Does it help, Jean D+? Infinite dimension. The Tao works in mysterious, complex ways. I don't see it as mysterious anymore, but I understand what you say. This is what the Tao says. It's one of the it's one of those I don't know how you call it. One of those um, wisdom. I forgot how it says. But anyway, so it does say that the Tao works in mysterious ways. But actually, when you spend a lot of time studying it and applying it, I don't see anything mysterious about it. For me, there's some sort of emotional logic behind it. Pumpkin puff. I know I ask the same things over and over. I guess I just need the reminders. I appreciate you repeating this. It's okay. I understand that you need to express yourself. Right? But the sooner you can get to the next level, the more work we can do in that next level. Pumpkin puff. I walk, I sleep fine. I have nightmares sometimes, but sleep enough. My nutrition need a bit of work. So there you go. I love nature and it brings me much happiness. So keep doing this. Keep investing in your happiness and your well-being. Keep learning, studying on how to expand every single field of your life. And everything will help the other aspects and work together for you to have a better mental, emotional, and physical health. Pumpkin puff. I just keep going back into the dark corner of I am horrible, worthless. My husband would be happier than with someone not like me, even though he tells me over and over that he only wants to be with me. So you want to be careful. You might lose him, right? If you keep doing like that, if you're not able to stop saying that, at some point you may actually convince him that indeed you're not good enough. And it will feel horrible. I've done this myself. I've been lucky all my life. I had some amazing people who loved me, but I kept on rejecting them. And I'm lucky that I've been with my husband now for like nearly 21 years. So I'm very happy. But sometimes I feel bad for the other people that I've met who are also amazing, beautiful, kind, and they wanted the best for me. And I treated them horribly. I pushed them away. And so the sooner you can get your head around that idea, the sooner you can express it, the more potential we have to create a long-lasting adventure with your husband. Sometimes we're just used to the things we think and how we feel. We literally get addicted to our sense of normal. And so raise an awareness of this. Because you've always been thinking like that, because you've always been feeling like that, doesn't mean that you have to. If anything, you need to find a way to minimize this. Stop allowing yourself to go back into those old places. Catch yourself. Realize that, it's happening. I don't want to go there. I want to change. And it takes repetition, repetition, repetition for anything to happen. And so I'm going to do this. Right? Every time you feel sorry for yourself, change this. Tell yourself, who is sorry? My old self. So what you can do is to give yourself a big hug. Tell your child, it's okay to feel like that. I'm here now. I'm in charge. I can love you. I can teach you. I can protect you. I can show you how we can deal with things without all of those negative beliefs that we had in the past. You don't need to believe those beliefs anymore. But again, you know what? All in all, I was just trying to scare you. But in reality, I know that you are going in the right direction and things will get better and better eventually at some point. It may probably not happen when or how you want it to happen, but things are going in the right direction. Just keep reminding yourself of that. And don't take people for granted. Don't take your husband for granted. The more you tell him, the more you are basically bringing that past back. And it's uncomfortable for you and it's uncomfortable for him. So there's a little space where you can maybe try to do something about it. If you really can't, you can't. But I want you to be aware that whatever you put out there adds up into the mix and is going to create more propensity for you to go in that direction or to go here or to stagnate in the middle. Flynn Kremin, maestro. Is it because I look like a conductor with my jacket? Oh, Shubashu. Yes, that makes sense. Fantastic. Thank you. Also, how do you tell the difference between true moral responsibility and guilt created by moral injury, especially if you've had rescuing tendencies in the past. Let me read this again. How do you tell the difference between true moral responsibilities? I don't think there's such thing as true moral responsibilities. If there was only one, that would be that if you're a parent, you must look after your kids and protect them. But again, understanding the mind, I also understand that not everyone is in a mental and emotional place where they can do this. So it's not like anyone chooses to be a bad parent anyway. People are what they can do based on their own trauma or the generational trauma that they have inherited from their parents in childhood. And so I don't believe that there's such thing as a true moral responsibility. I think if anything, you want to let go of this. You don't need true moral responsibility. You need to be happy. You need to be free from pain, from anxiety, from overthinking. You want to be free from shame. You want to be free from guilt. You want to be free from the idea of sin and hell or whatever it may be. Free yourself. All of those things are nonsense. They don't help you. They don't help anyone. They're an old narrative that is obsolete. Focus on feeling good. Focus on connecting with this moment. Focus on being as good as you can. And as you do that, you will be good to people. And as you do that, you will be showing some moral values. You don't have to have responsibility. No one needs to be responsible. That creates tension, pressure. You have to be responsible. You need to take responsibility now. We all do our best. It's not as if some people are choosing not to be responsible. Maybe they have some conditions. Maybe if they don't take responsibility, if they don't come across as taking responsibility, it's because of a lot of reasons that are invisible. So we want to stop judging people. We want to start to understand them. And if you can't understand human psychology, at least we want to have empathy and compassion for them, as opposed to judgment and quick, hasty conclusions. So how do you tell the difference between true moral responsibility and guilt created by moral injury? Let go of all guilt. Let go of all responsibilities. You don't have any responsibility. As long as you believe that you have a responsibility, you believe that you're not good enough as you are. You have to do something in order to deserve love, acceptance, or belonging to that tribe. It's not true. If you are happy, then you will just go with your flow and everything else will follow naturally, organically, just like that. Right? Does it help at all? Thank you for your heart. Alkan Mahmoud. How do I improve my work-life balance? By having an awareness of it. Have an awareness of how you feel, what you think, any of your baggage. Have an awareness of other things that makes you think that you should have a good work balance. Be in touch with your body. Listen to your emotions, listen to your feelings, listen to your sensations in your body. And learn how to be acquainted with them and how to understand how you feel. And that will tell you everything that you need to know about yourself. So you may feel, I'm stressed, I'm tense, I'm working too much. So we can work on that, but you need to first pay attention to how you feel. We take for granted everything. Everything is normal. And as long as something is normal, we never do anything about it. So the first aspect of improving your work-life balance is just to feel. If you feel good, that's it. You're there. You don't need to do anything else. Now, there's an aspect of this that is not talked about enough, is that we are conditioned by a capitalist system. We must produce. We must be productive. And that's one of the reasons why some people need a work-life balance. If you love what you do, you never need a work-life balance because what you do is only something that brings you happiness and satisfaction and excitement. And so this is a different way to look at the situation. If you can find something that you really enjoy doing, if you can find your ikigai, which is something that you enjoy doing, something that you're good at, something that the world needs, and something that can provide you remuneration, then you find your ikigai. This is your purpose. This is how you have a fantastic work-life balance because you're doing something that makes you great, that allows you to expand through your work. As opposed to, I hate my work, I need something to make balance. I need to go on a holiday, I need to go in a spa, I need to do some meditation because this is not good, it's too much. It's not like that. You want to create a life where you can find contentment and satisfaction and stimulation from all sides and aspects of it. Does it help? Does it make sense? Alkan Mammut, Pumpkin Puff. I don't mean to burden you with my pain. You never burden me with your pain. Not at all. That's what I'm here for. And I'm actually honored that you keep coming and that you keep talking to me. I genuinely am. Don't feel bad. Again, stop shaming yourself. Stop feeling like you're inadequate. Stop this. You're appreciated. You're loved. You're important. You matter. You're welcome. Every time I see you, I'm happy to see you. I just do my job. And my job is to tell you those things. That's it. But yes, you're not a burden. Stop thinking that. If anything, I feel a bit offended. After all those times that you're still feeling that you are a burden to me, despite the thousands, millions, zillions times that I told you that you're not. Remember this. But I understand that you said I can. I just want to be better than that and apply what you tell me more and more until I can do it without the reminder. Okay, we're good. We're good. Pumpkin Puff, don't get me wrong. I will still watch you whether I need help or not. I will always benefit from talking with you. Thank you. Okay. Chris Hilton, good evening, Didi. Good evening to you, Chris. Tava Pasho. And if you find your lifespan to be likely greatly reduced, for example, a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, what does the universe want for that person? Their life is likely to include increasing suffering. So, okay, so let's talk about this. Life is an experience. And so there are two different ways to look at that experience. We can look at it from the perspective of our soul. What is my human experience? Or we can look at it from the perspective of the ego. What do I want? What do I dislike? What do I hate? And so we suffer when we're looking at our life from the perspective of the ego. And so if I have a cancer tomorrow, I may think, my life is rubbish, it sucks, there's nothing good about it. I don't want to be ill. And now I'm going to be unhappy and angry at life. But if I can be more spiritual, I look at myself from the position of the observer, being neutral, without desire, without expectations. And it's very hard. I grant you that because we are human. But if you can learn how to do that, you can realize my life is what it is. Within my life, no matter how long or how short it is, no matter how much success I have or not, no matter how many people love me or not, is an experience. And it is valid. Even if I live 5 years, 10 years, and I have very terrible illnesses, and I die at a very young age, even I have a lot of pain, even if I'm a horrible person and hurt others, it is still an experience. It is still valid as a story. And this is what we would experience if we can look at ourselves from the perspective of the observer, of our spirit, as opposed to from the perspective of the ego. I want this, I don't like this. And so it's terribly hard, but this is what we want to do. We want to shift. If you have a cancer, if you have something like that, it's more important than ever to learn how to discover some sort of spiritual perspective and look at things from a different perspective. As long as we keep on reacting from our position, we will suffer from that reality. Because life sucks if you have a cancer. All of your dreams are crushed. All the things that you wanted to do, they're no longer on the menu anymore. But if you can look at yourself as a whole story, you can think, okay, you know what? Maybe I can still do something out of it. Maybe I can learn something out of it. And so out of the suffering, what do we get? We learn about the value of the good things we have. A lot of people only start to appreciate their life the moment they have a cancer. Because until then, they live in an illusion, they're on a momentum, and they take everything for granted. But the moment they're reminded of their mortality, suddenly, you know what? I'm going to do something with my last 6 months. I'm going to write that book, I'm going to go on that trip, I'm going to tell everyone that I love them. I'm going to do all those things that I want to do, because now suddenly those 6 months are more important than 50 years on this planet, or whatever age that we are. And that's what the cancer is teaching us. Everything is about contrast. Everything is about teaching us something. If we can turn this into a lesson, if we believe that something is a bad experience, if we judge something as bad, we never learn from it. And so everything is about contrast. Someone has a cancer and it sucks. But if you look at the state of anyone's life can be better, anyone's life can be worse. And so some people may say, yeah, but there's nothing worse than a cancer. Yes, there is. If you were born in Gaza, your life is 1,000 times millions more than someone who's had a long life and now is finding out that they have a cancer. So there you go, a very simple example. And there are tons of kids who get horrible life, and yet they find time, despite the horror, to laugh and to enjoy whatever little things we can enjoy in the moment. So there's a lot of things we can learn from them, right? And it's not just them, it's all over the world, and it's always been. Your problems are a blessing for someone else in comparison, because everything is relative. So if you find that your lifespan to be likely greatly reduced, focus on being grateful that you still have time to do things. Focus on the good things that you have experienced. Milk those things. Think, okay, you know what? I'm still happy that I have enjoyed those things. I knew these people, I've done those things, and it's still something. It is still valid. We suffer because it's not what we want. So we suffer from our own expectations and taking for granted the good things that we have already in our life, no matter what we are suffering from. Even if you have a cancer, there are some good things. You could have a cancer, but live in a country-at war or in extreme abject poverty in a shanty town and still have the cancer and being abused and attacked and hurt by people and so much more worse and be disabled from the start of your life. There's so many things that could be more, that could be worse. Right? So I'm not saying that it doesn't suck. It's just that there's always two ways to look at something. We can look at things from a position that makes us feel a little bit better about ourselves, or from a position that makes us feel a little bit worse. There's always two sides to the coin. We suffer, however, because we are not satisfied with either side of the coin. Neither side of the coin are enough. We want more. But if you can learn how to appreciate the side of the coin that is slightly better, now we're onto something. In this moment, all of us, we can find some goodness, no matter how horrible. And anyone who's been through horrible stuff will tell you that. I'm a mental health professional. As a therapist, I talk to people who've been through so many horrible stuff. And once we have overcome the trauma, we can remember that there was a lot of good things happening in childhood too, despite the horror. So yeah, something to think about. Does that answer your question? T'avais pas chaud or not? And also, you know what? Some people may have a reduced life and may suffer. But some people may have a long life where they're miserable and they suffer for a whole lifetime. And it's like similar to a cancer, but the suffering is different and it lasts much longer. And they don't even have that realization that they have an ending to it. So they don't have that moment of maybe practicing gratitude and trying to do the things that they always wanted to do. And so, yeah, there are many different ways to look at things. In other words, whatever we experience is always down to how we look at those things. That's it. If we can shift the position of the observer of ourselves, the way we look at it, we can change everything. Does it help? Pumpkin Puff. Oh yes, this is my concern with my husband because he asked me if I was pushing him away. So there you go. So remind yourself every day, every time that you're going to think that, do I want to keep pushing him away? And if you say something and it's pushing him away, you can still always correct it afterward. Tell him, I'm sorry it happened. Again, I lost myself, but I don't want to push you away. I hope that you can accept I hope that you can forgive me. I generally don't want you to feel like that. I'm the same. Sometimes I say things to my husband that are hurtful because I'm into that place, because I'm reacting. and then it happened today. He was overwhelmed because of his own stuff. And we disagreed on something. And I was a bit short-tempered. And I reacted. I was really irritable. And then I realized this afterward. So I went to see him and I said, I'm sorry. If I said anything that made you feel bad, I apologize. I never want you to feel bad because of me. I never want to hurt your feelings. And he forgave me and we're good. So realize that whatever you're going through, you can always recoup afterward. Right? Instead of you fixating on, I've done that, I feel so bad about it, there's nothing we can do about it. No, you can always do something afterward. Especially knowing that your husband has been so supportive up to this point. I don't mean to, I just completely overcome my brain with the negative thought. So yeah, so I hope that what I said was registered by you. Flynn Kremin, I have an amazing partner, but my primary part of me says I want to experience something else. I know that would be a terrible mistake. How do I avoid and turn off the temptation? You don't turn off the temptation. There's a reason why you feel certain things. So you want to understand those things. You may have some conditions that get you to obsess over those things for whatever reasons. And so you never want to repress yourself. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm giving you green card for you to go and like a rampant rabbit all over the place. But again, it's about understanding why you feel the way you feel and being honest with your partner. Tell them, this is how I feel. I love you. I don't want to feel like that, but I need to be honest with you. And so you can work on it together. Right? The reason why a lot of couples have problems is because one of them has this sort of situation, but they don't talk about it because it's shameful, it's a taboo. Society teaches us that we should love each other and we shouldn't even have any of those thoughts. But we're human. The truth of the matter is that for the vast majority of us, we're not designed to be with one partner forever. It's just the way it is. Now, we can make it work for some of us, but nothing is ever guaranteed. And so my advice to you is to be honest if you can. It's better, so that everything is clear and you can work it out together. But if you can't do this, at least learn to understand why you have those impulses, why you have those thoughts. Understand them. I had them myself for the vast majority of my life. So we can talk about this. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're tempted by the devil. All of this is nonsense. It only means that there are part of you that wants to do this because of XYZ, and we want to discover why. Typically, people with certain conditions can be hyper SCX sure. And there are all sorts of reasons as why we do these things, and we never want to repress ourselves. Otherwise, we suffer. You see, I was talking about John Wayne Gacy or serial killers. So many people end up hurting others because they have repressed some part of themselves. So that creates more problems. So understand yourself, and if you can, talk this through with your partner, so at least you're on the same wavelength if anything happens, and you can do something together as well. If you feel that you don't have enough action in the bedroom, by talking to your partner, they will realize that they can do something about it, right? My watch just told me that I need to post my TikTok post now, so just bear with me. My third post of the day. You are made of stuff.
Let's talk about Richard Branson's PR.
Just bear. Okay. Let me double check. You are made. And I think that you are made. Okay, that's it. Okay, so back to where we were. My primal part of me says that I want to experience something else. I know that would be a terrible mistake. So there are also different ways to look at it. It could be you thinking that that person is not good enough for you. Or it could be physical impulses. So up to this point, I was talking about the physical impulses. And many of us have them. And again, we don't want to repress those things. We want to understand and work on those things with the understanding that it's related to some things that happened to us in childhood. But it could be maybe not physical, but just you wanting to be with a person that is better. And that could be something to do with some belief that you have. I need to be with the best person. I need to be with someone that is perfect. that person is not perfect enough. And that may be because we are projecting our own perfectionism on others. So people who suffer from perfectionism, they often do that. They can't find someone that is ever good enough because they don't feel good enough either. They're setting standards that are impossible for anyone to ever reach. So that causes problems as well. Pumpkin puff. Right, I need to just focus on myself and making a new habit of thought instead. You just need to continue what you're doing. Right, just do whatever we talked about. Rewatch those videos if you can, and trust that you're supported by me, by your husband, by the universe, by many more people, I'm sure. Pumpkin puff. And focus on working on my BPD. I remember you said that many times too. Yes. So by working on your BPD, it means working on stop shaming yourself. That's the first thing. Remember, be kind to yourself. This is all what it means. And I talk about it all the time. So you can't forget this. You can't be confused about it. Moondust, hello. Thank you for your hearts. Forest Berger, Didi. 16 months ago, my mother gave all my possessions away, including a vehicle I owned for 20 years. She told the neighbors I died. I want to reconnect with her, but my wife and 7 siblings says not to. She isolated herself, doesn't talk to anyone. My wife says she's toxic and it will just trigger me or cause stress or will manipulate me. She lives on the other side of my town. She doesn't cut her lawn, take trash out of even get mail. She doesn't have a mental illness. She just chooses not to on purpose. I believe she has a mental illness. I believe that no one who is balanced and happy and fulfilled would live the way she lives and would do the thing she did. No one does things on purpose. We all have some mental and emotional baggage in some capacity. Now, people believe that they don't because we believe in the myth of character, the myth of I'm doing it on purpose. No one does anything on purpose. Literally everything that we do, everything that we say, whichever way we behave, whichever actions we have, any habits that we call our personality, are systems that have been put into place because of things that happened to us in childhood. And so if we have some behavior that are quite extreme, which is what your mum is displaying, then it tells me that she has some baggage. You may not see it, she may not see it herself either, because what we know about mental health is only very recent. A lot of people are in denial, they don't even know that it exists. But for me, someone who lives isolated, who sells your stuff, who has a problem with a kid, there's nothing healthy or normal about it. Right? And so I understand why your partner would say that your mom is toxic. And maybe she is. But maybe she's also suffering from something. More than one truth can coexist. And so maybe it's true that she's toxic to you. Maybe it's true that she's suffering. And maybe it's true that you can connect with her and do something positive out of it. So it depends. Now, the great question is, why do you feel the need to do that? And can you do it? Maybe you're not ready to do it. Or maybe you are. I don't know. But generally speaking, to go back into the past with parents that were abusive or disconnected in some ways, it takes a lot of work. And so do whatever your nervous system is telling you you can do. If you can't deal with her, if it's too much, whenever you think about her, if you go too close to her, then don't do it. Let it go and tell yourself, you know what, it's too much for me. I'm going to do something else, enjoy myself, and maybe at some point I'll be able to help her out. Or maybe I can seek some professional help to help me deal with myself so that I can deal with her at some point in the future. So yeah, that's my advice. Listen to how you feel and see what your intuition, what your body, what your nervous system are telling you. Whether you feel ready and safe and able to do this or not. And if you feel that you can, go for it. Don't listen to anyone but your own intuition. People come from a good place, but no one knows you or your situations any better than yourself. And for the fact that you told me that your mum told your neighbor that you died 7 years ago, how can you not think that she has some mental health problems? No one chooses to do anything on purpose. This is the hardest thing to accept. But this is really one of the pillars of the understanding of the mind and the things that I want to preach and get people to understand. And this is also how you may be able to heal from your relationship with her. By stop thinking that she's doing it on purpose. By realizing that she's the victim of her own upbringing and circumstances and genetics, maybe. Maybe she's on the spectrum of something and it's affecting the way she went through life and everything accumulated and got her to end up like that. So we can talk about this if you want, Forrest, but essentially listen to your body and do only what you can. Prioritize your own well-being. Slavery shadow. Hi, do you know you somehow similar to Mr. Elon? I don't understand. The way you phrase the English is all over the place. But you're talking about Elon. Mr. Elon represented Trump always. I don't understand. Could you form a sentence in English that I can understand? Maybe you can use a translator if it's not your first language. But if I read, first, my intuition is telling me that you are trolling because there's the mention of Trump and Elon, and it's got nothing to do with mental health, or at least not yet. We haven't brought that into the conversation yet. But even if I was going to take you seriously and read word by word what you said, it goes like this. Hi, do you know you somehow similar to Mr. Elon? Mr. Elon with President Trump always. It doesn't make sense, sorry. And also, if you're not serious, please be kind. I'm using this space to help people. If you want help, I'm more than happy to do this. But don't troll. There's a place and a time for everything. Thank you. Forrest, it caused me so much internal pain to be rejected. And my other siblings, she hurts people because it's easier than being nice. Unfortunately, it causes me stress and anger and can trigger me. So accept that you can't deal with that. You may be able to at some point in the future, you may never. Or you may, but it will be too late. Just accept that there are things that we can do and some things that we can't do at this point in time. Accept. And then focus on something else. If you want to reconnect with her, it's because you have some unfinished business with her. You are still expecting her to give you some sort of validation. But just based on what you said, I believe, and do correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that she has never given you the things that you're still expecting her to give you after all those years. And so stop expecting those things. You know that she's never given you any of those things. And so accept that it's never going to happen. But also accept that you don't need those things anymore. You are now a grown-up. We're all dealing with our own life, with our own baggage, in whichever way we can. And what you can do is to focus on your life now. Focus on your partner now. Focus on your new family. Focus on your new tribe. Focus on people who are going to make you feel good, make you feel that you belong, make you feel that you matter. Instead of going back into that place where you're going to basically hit your head on a brick wall, expecting something that you never had anyway. Why would you do that? Does it make sense? Forrest? Lifestyle Chav Chat. Hello, Didi. Hello. How are you? I'm very well. How about you? Forrest, it also causes me a great deal of depression that I'm still dealing with. Okay, so that's why. Because you want something that not only you can't have, but also that there's a part of you that knows that you will never have this because you never had it. And so change that. Focus on something else. Think, you know what? I tried my best all those years and it's not happening. And so I'm going to trust the universe to look after her. But now I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on my new family, my new tribe, my new friends, my new people who can see me and love me for who I am. And just like that, you are into a different mental place. Do you want to tell me more about this, Forrest? Pumpkin Puff. I appreciate all of that, Didi. I didn't mean to offend, but I understand what you are saying. Thank you. I will not take your help for granted. I just know that others don't understand the same way that you do. Thank you. Lifestyle Chav Chat. I'm exercising to flatten my stomach. I'm quite disciplined with what I eat, but Haha. But. Tavash Pashos, you speak truth. Okay, thank you so much. Strawberry Black, hello. Lifestyle Chaff Chat. Sometimes my energy SL7 PS, then I keep snacking like today. Let me try to guess what you mistyped. Sometimes energy drops, I assume, and then I keep snacking like today. Okay? And so let's carry on with the conversation. Let's see what comes next. Tava Pastures. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. Lifestyle Chaff Chat. I've been making good progress, and when my belly bloat starts to come back, do you? ... Worker dude. My partner has BPD. When I cause conflict, they need space. But sometimes they are so overwhelmed that I have reasons to worry about self-harm. Should I give them that space in that extreme case? Well, think about your alternatives. If you don't give them space, what happens? You're clashing. If you give them space, anything can happen. What matters is your priority in the moment. If you have a fire in the house, what is the priority? For you to get out of the house or to try to extinguish the fire? And so I don't have your answer. What is your priority in that moment? You can only choose one. But to know that each moment is followed by another moment, and that also we tend to catastrophize things. I believe that if someone has BPD, well, we can talk about this from a different angle. I have BPD myself, and so do some people who watch here. And so if someone has BPD, the best thing you can do, number one, is to learn about the conditions and really, really accept and understand what it means to have BPD. And what I mean by that is to know that whatever behavior they have is nothing to do with you. They're trying their best, and that's all that can come out at this point in time. So don't expect them to behave in any ways that someone who is neurotypical would behave like. That's the number one thing. If you're worried about self-harm, it's a tricky one, because I remember when I had my episodes, I used to blackmail people, telling them that if they didn't attend to my desire, my need, my wants, I would kill myself. It's something that I have used extensively. When we are feeling rejected, when we are splitting, we do anything to not be abandoned. And so there's a real probability that something may happen, but also it may not happen. We don't know. And also it may be just a bluff. It's still coming from a place of pain. But even as we bluff, they still could do it accidentally. So anything can happen. So what matters is not what if. What matters is that you do your best with what you have at this point in time to understand the BPD and to work together. Right? Is your partner seeking professional help? This is very important. Are you doing some work together? Are you working on yourself as well? Because I see that a lot. I got quite a lot of people now who come to see me, couples, and one of them has got BPD. And what we need to realize is that anyone who is with someone who has BPD has some trauma bond. No one who is stable and happy would choose to be with people like that, people like us. No one would choose people who are emotionally unstable, people who are always on the verge of exploding and turning into a monster in 1 split second. No one would do that, except those who have a trauma bond with some people who have some unfinished business with their own past. And so that's how they end up with people like us. So do you do some work on yourself as well? I think it's very important. Worker dude, does that answer your question? Tell me more if you want. I can talk about it for hours. Lifestyle Chaff Chat. Hi, any advice about this? I know you have mentioned you have been a bodybuilder and into fitness. So it's not about, so if you are struggling with your weight and you find it difficult to change, it's not because, first, I'm not a bodybuilder. I was a personal trainer and a strength and conditioning coach, but this is just a detail. I was into sport performance. But It's not about the protocol that you're using. It's not about the diet. It's about your heart set and your mindset. And so for the vast majority of people, if they are struggling with weight, fluctuating, they try to do everything and it's still coming back and they can't get rid of it, it's because we have some mental and emotional blocks to do with that. Yeah. And so you want to address this. If you're making progress but your belly keeps coming back, just ask yourself, why can't I stick to the program? Again, we can talk about it in greater depth, but anyone who's struggling with their body weight over a long period of time, it's always because of some unhealed emotional wound. So there's an attachment, an association with food and with stress. Number one, why am I overwhelmed and overstressed? Number two, why have I chosen food to be my coping mechanism to deal with stress? Two things to look at, as opposed to looking at personal training or diet or magic pill or any of those things. Serrano, your videos have made my head and thoughts a lot clearer since I began watching them. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I'm glad that they have. Pumpkin Puff, yes, every you said, I understand. You're 100% correct, but I can work on repairing after. And it's not always set in stone, another reason to change my habit. Yes. Forrest, the only reason I bring up my mother issues is because my wife said I have tendencies to act like her. I flew off the handle with anger and depression. I'm trying to keep self-control. Okay, so in that case, forget about your mum. Focus on yourself, and we can talk about you. Your mum, it's her journey to go through. Right? And if you are dealing with all those things, it tells me that you can't help her out because you have to help yourself first. You have your own problems to address first. Yeah? And so if you want, we can talk about your anger and the depression. Do you want to share with us some patterns? And if you know any triggers of them? Flynn Cremin, thank you. Thank you. Katrina Xan, do not friend in capital letter. Save yourself, you deserve love, that is not love. So you're giving a recommendation to someone, she's dangerous. Out to the mum. It's not that she's dangerous necessarily. We don't want to demonize people and put everything in black and white, little bags. I'd say instead of thinking she's dangerous, just think, what is your priority? Where is your energy and time and focus best invested in, rather than thinking, oh, they're bad. And I know that you're coming from a good place, Katrina, but I want to make sure that we don't go overboard, overgeneralizing things. We suffer because of that, often. Black and white, all or nothing. And there's often so much more to this than that. Jean D+, what is love? Love is a lot of different things, depending on the context. Love is a feeling, it's an emotion, it's an experience. It's the feeling that we're connected with someone. Love is also an action. It's something that you feel when you give something to someone and you know that it's good for them and you're happy about it. I think the best way to describe love is just an energy, an experience, a moment that is connected, that is to do with connection and people and happiness and joy. Saran Orfeo, baby, don't hurt me. I don't understand. Forrest Burger, thank you, Didi. I will work on accepting fact she has her own problems and has illnesses. You're correct. I was seeking validation of love. Okay. Work on your anger and depression. We can talk about this right here and now if you want, or next time, whenever you're ready. Lifestyle Chaff Chat. I go back on my program because I get tired. Hello, Didi. What are your thoughts on THS? I go to a club where I feel many people there do a subtle thing in trying to undermine me and undervalue me. It's not that I care so much about what people think, but... Okay, so but, ... Pumpkin Puff. I appreciate that so many people are asking about understanding, even with people like me, and it's so important to not compare, but to be able to help when you understand why we react how we do. Yes, indeed. Pumpkin Puff, thank you for all your help, Didi, of course. Forrest, I will prioritize myself and life over thinking anything for her. I will look at her like I would look at someone I don't know. Not my problem anymore. Okay. Yes, if you can have some compassion for her, better. That's better. But if you can't, it's okay as well. We all have a baggage, and I'm sure, it's not that I'm sure, I know that your mum never chose to be who she is and do the things that she did. We don't. No one does. However, you need to look after yourself. And so whatever works for you, as long as you can redirect your attention on yourself, then that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Lifestyle chat. I see the subtle ways of trying to manipulate conversations, to manipulate others' thought patterns about me. These people know too much about me and my past. They try too hard to direct other people. So what are you doing with those people? It's like going into how do you say, viper's nest? A lot of snakes. Why would you go there? Sometimes some places are toxic. Some environments are toxic. Some mentalities are toxic. Some places, the way people interact with one another is just nasty because it's a culture. Everyone does it. And so if you know this, don't go there. I avoid those places like the plague. I and my husband, for instance, we never go in gay places in Soho in London because we know that a lot of those places are very, very bitchy, very toxic, very gossipy, very insecure, very superficial, and we understand that we all have wounds. However, we don't need to be there. So we wish them the best, but we don't have anything to do with those places. Just like that, right? Does it help? Delara Shafi, 2008. I have strong abandonment issues since my father threw me out of my childhood home when I was 10. Now, when my boyfriend leaves, I get very depressed and I feel like I won't ever see him again. Please help. Have you got professional help? It sounds like serious to me. Right? If you've been abandoned by your dad at the age of 10, that will have created an impact that will affect how you perceive reality. And so, do you believe that you have any conditions at all? Have you ever been diagnosed or have you ever thought about it? Talking about abandonment issues, do you believe that you could be on the borderline personality disorder spectrum? Or some other spectrums? Lifestyle chat. Thoughts about me trying to keep me mentally stuck in and on the past. They want to perceive me a certain way, as in a person I was 10 or 20 years ago, rather than addressing me as and for the person that I am now. Okay, so again, you can do two things. You can either change them or you can change yourself. So by changing them, that means trying to go into their head one by one, or you can just change your attitude, your habits, your behavior, and choose not to go. When we are dealing with things that are making us unhappy, we can either change the world or we can change ourselves. Which one is easier? Now, nothing is all black or white. There could be some circumstances. Maybe you have to go there for whatever reason. So we can talk about this. We need to understand what sort of places it is. Is it work or is it, because your name is called Lifestyle Chat. So maybe something to do with your lifestyle? I don't know. But it's a big world out there. And very often we suffer from some people, some groups of people, because we believe that they're the most important people in the world. But if it doesn't work, why not venture in other places and meet other people with whom things will be much easier? Not everyone is gossipy or bitchy or toxic or negative. Lifestyle, sorry, what? Pumpkin Puff. On the SH subject, I do agree with you. It feels like it's the end of the world, but it really feels real. Do you have advice when I'm in that mindset? Yes. Remind yourself that nothing is real. Everything is temporary. Everything is an illusion. When you feel something in that moment, especially with BPD or any trauma-related conditions, it feels as if it's going to last forever. That's all there is, and there's nothing you can do about it. We're hyper-fixated on that thing. But remind yourself it's not true. Everything that you believed was going to last forever, they never lasted forever. So you just need to look over your shoulder and remember, it's not true. It's just your old self that is still reacting like that. But you can remind yourself, everything passes. Nothing lasts forever. And it's a matter of repetition. So repeat, repeat, repeat. Practice mindfulness. And the SH subject. What is SH? Self-harm. So you're saying whenever you're depressed and you feel terrible, right? So that's a different thing. If you feel terrible in that moment, just do your best. You have systems in place. You have a lot of survival systems that are there to keep you alive. So just do your best to remember. And if you can't, that's your best. And it's good enough because you've been through these things many times and you're still here. So there you go. Trust the universe. Trust that, learn how to feel things, do those things that we talk about, all of those things and more. Learn how to feel, learn how to recognize those feelings, and learn how to let them go. Despair is a feeling, it's an experience. It's okay to feel despair, but remember that every single experience that you go through is only temporary. So helplessness, powerlessness, anger, fear, again, powerlessness, what did I say? Despair. All of those things, their experiences, experience them. And then don't think about it, just focus on the feeling. And eventually it will subside. And then the next moment you can regain mental clarity and ask yourself, that thought that made me feel so depressed, is it true? Is it objectively true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? And then you realize, no, it's not, it's just my old self, repeating those old tropes again. Lifestyle chat. I have to go there, it is toxic, you're right, I don't have option. So if you don't have option, tell yourself, I don't have options yet. Maybe in the long term, you can create strategies to move away from that. Right? If it's toxic, you don't have to go there. But if you have to make a living out of it and you don't have any other way around right now, do it in the knowing that it's only temporary because you're going to go somewhere else. So basically, create a strategy to be in other places. But in the meantime, accept, this is how I see me, but I don't care because I'm using that thing. I need that thing for whatever reason, so I'm getting something from that thing. And so in the meantime, until and unless I can get better, I will pretend that I don't care because I'm getting something in exchange. Instead of focusing on how they see you, focus on the thing that you get out of out of you being there. So if it's a work, you're getting money, you're getting an ability to pay your bills, to have some sort of financial freedom. So do it. But if it's not good enough, then as you're doing this, organize a strategy to change. And so now, if you know that you are looking elsewhere, it's going to be easier for you to accept what they are doing to you because you know that it's only temporary. You are nearly coming to the end of the tunnel. Think of yourself like being in prison, but your sentence is getting closer to the end. So you're about to be free. So prepare yourself for something better and accept that maybe your path of least resistance at this point in time, since you don't have a choice, which means that you're getting something out of it, is to focus on the things that you get out of it so it makes you feel better about yourself and remind yourself that it's not going to last forever. This is what I would do. Right? We can't change people, but you can change what you decide to do and what you decide to think and how you decide to feel the next moment. Does it help? Lifestyle chat? Resilient Warrior. Oh, hello. Hi, Didi. Long time no talk. Indeed. Just an update. couple of months ago, we talked about my worries about my parents' illness, and me as a healthcare worker, I tend to think of worst scenario. But when you told dot 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 lifestyle chat, I don't have anything to do with these people, but I see that their effects can affect myself with other new people if they're constantly having their thoughts and opinions about me manipulated by others. So again, whatever I said applies to that. It doesn't matter because you're not going to spend your life there. And in the meantime, you're still getting something from being there. It's your choice. Forrest Berger. The anger can be intense and can last hours even. It triggered my smoking horrible habit. My father smoked, and as we discussed before, he couldn't stand mum either. Okay. So do you have an understanding of your anger? Resilient warrior told me that acceptance is the key, works out better day by day with mindfulness. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much, Didi. Instead of controlling, I focus now on the happy and good memories with them instead of being dreadful. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Great news. This is great. Thank you. Delara Shafi. Yes, I am on the borderline spectrum and I have been in therapy for the last 10 years. This is the first time I feel like I am in an actual relationship, learning to feel safe and secure, but it's hard. Okay? Keep doing. If you are looked after, if you're working on yourself, you're on that journey. So the only thing that I can say to you is to keep coming back to my live streams and we can talk about all sorts of things every week if you wish. If it's hard, it's normal. It is because you are still learning how to live with the habits of the BPD. But since you're working on it, then you're doing what you have to do. Keep on expanding your mind and keep on learning more about yourself so that you can speed up, accelerate your journey of healing. But, as long as you have BPD, it will be hard. You have BPD. It's one of the most difficult conditions to have. Forrest, message attracted. Lifestyle chat. I cannot lock myself away in a box, which is what I feel they would like me to do, to lock myself away and not engage with people. But it's only for now. Again, it's only temporary. If you know that you're in prison, but you're about to leave, then you feel better about it. And if it's really too much for you, just leave and see what happens. Again, we can't have everything when we want it. But we can have one thing. We can have what we choose to have in this moment, out of whatever choice we have. And this is your choice. Stay or leave. If you stay, it sucks, but you get something out of it. If you leave, it sucks, but you're free from them. So it's a different kind of suck. You choose, right? You have a choice. Just that, if you could appreciate the fact that you have a choice, that will make you feel better. Resilient warrior. Also, Didi, you mentioned about the short video about boundaries with people we care like family, but it made sense and think about we're responsible about the happiness that made sense now. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Motivation to strive. I'm so happy to have you back. Please, what do you advise for when you know the right thing to do, but you struggle with consistency, plus numbness from failing over and over again? So you want to realize that the right thing to do is one thing. What you can do based on how you feel is a different thing. Your subconscious mind doesn't care about the right thing to do or not. This is what your conscious mind thinks and knows. Your subconscious mind is emotional. It's 95% of your mind, and it's going to be basically in charge of everything. And so you may think this is the right thing to do. But if you can't do this, my advice to you is to find out why is your subconscious mind resisting that thought. We suffer more often than not because of the discrepancy between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. I want, I think, I know. I believe, I feel, I am. That's the difference. So if you want to expand on that conversation, what do you mean by what is the right thing to do? And in which way are you struggling? Lifestyle chat. It is a bit Truman Show, like where my interactions feel manipulated as though someone holding puppet strings is trying to control and manipulate. Okay? So it may be the case. Yeah. Resilient Warrior. Been practicing mindfulness, Didi, and halfway done with Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. Fantastic. It's amazing book. Thank you for the recommendation. I'm glad you appreciate it. I look at things as experience and learning, not being too hard on myself. Fantastic. Good on you. Thank you so much. You should be proud of yourself. Forrest. The depression comes when I notice myself slipping and my actions. I then feel regretful. Then that lasts for freaking days too. Like driving around about in cycles. Okay, so let's talk about this. One of the way to define depression is the harsh, hurtful, and critical things that you say to yourself. And so we get depressed because we have those thoughts about ourselves. Why am I so terrible? Why is my life so pathetic? And so on and so forth. And we are doing this to ourselves. We are talking to ourselves in a very unkind way. So if you can learn how to speak to yourself in a better way, that will start to change. Instead of telling yourself anything that you say that makes you feel down, learn how to speak to yourself like someone who loves you, someone who cares about you, about how you feel, someone who wants you to do well. And so reverse this. Let's say if you had a friend that came to you and said, I'm rubbish, I feel that I'm unworthy, and I feel that I should top myself tonight. What do you think? You will never say to your friend, if you care about them, yeah, you're right, you're ugly, you stink, you're stupid. What would you say to them? Whatever you would say to them, tell it to yourself. It's not true. You matter, you're special, you're important. They don't see you, I can see you. And I'm going to be there to help you. I'm going to support you unconditionally. We're going to do this together. Learn how to speak to yourself in a kind of way. Now, of course, depression is a big scope, so we can talk about it in many different ways. But at this point in time, just based on what we know so far, I want you to realize that you suffer because of the thoughts that you have about yourself. Constantly, life sucks, I'm rubbish, it's too hard. Why is it always so hard? It's always been like that. I can never get it right. I can never find happiness. I can never trust anyone. No one can love me or see me as I want it to be. And so instead, replace this and tell yourself, okay, let's focus on the good stuff. What can you be proud of? What can you praise yourself for? What can you appreciate about yourself? And tell those things to yourself. And as you learn how to do this, it's a skill. So it's going to take some process and some understanding and some ways for you to find the right things to say to yourself. But as you do that, eventually you'll be able to feel better about yourself, because that narrative in your mind is your mental space. If you are shaming yourself, if you are telling yourself that you're not enough all the time, you are attacking yourself. You're creating an environment that is unsafe. And so the depression is literally there to also protect you. It's going to shut you down. You don't feel anything now, because feeling is dangerous. We don't want to feel the bad and scary and intense things. But in the end, you don't feel anything at all. And so learn how to speak to yourself in a kind way, seek professional help, and come back to this live and let's talk about it more, okay? But for now, try this. Think about what I said and let me know how you feel about it. Forrest. Lifestyle chat. It is a bit bullish, like being bullied by a whole community. I do my best to ignore, but obviously I sense that what is happening. Okay, I agree with you. It's hard to stay completely unaffected. Everything is hard, but everything becomes easier if we practice what needs to be practiced in order to feel better about it. And so if you want to be unaffected by it, just remind yourself it's only temporary. If you don't have an exit plan, it's going to be impossible. Your subconscious mind is going to tell you, what the heck are you doing there? And it's going to get you to think about all those things all the time. But if you know that it's the end of the journey with them, it's going to be much easier for you to accept for now, until you can leave and find a better place with better people. Pumpkin Puff. I've had failed attempts It's weird to want to end everything, but your body tries everything to convince you to live. This is what I meant. People don't realize that it's so easy for us not to be alive. We are very fragile. And yet, so many of us were still there despite everything, because it takes an awful lot for someone to end their life. I tried myself as well, and I nearly get there a few times, but still, I'm here. And so, we are protected somehow. Not everyone, but the vast majority of us, we are. Forrest, I'm still working on the smoking, by the way. Baby steps, then the trigger happens, then I relapse. Are we talking about smoking weed or regular cigarette or vaping? Because it's very different. If you smoke weed, it's going to make everything worse. But at the same time, I understand that for some people, it's the best thing they have to feel better about themselves for now. So it's a tricky one. But weed, I would highly suggest you to get some help to focus on stop smoking weed if that is what you're smoking, because that makes people paranoid. That makes everything worse. Pumpkin Puff. So yes, you are correct. I'm still here. If I apply everything we've talked about, eventually it will be better. I just need to remember to give myself 90 seconds to calm down. Okay. Jason Renaud. Hi Didi. Why do you think psychological help is so difficult to access? It's a tricky one, because what we know about psychology that is efficient is only very recent. And so a lot of people are still using tools and systems that are outdated. So there are basically a lot of systems out there, and people who are not necessarily, I don't want to be negative, but yeah, it's still something very new. And now we're now coming to the realization of many things. And the new generation is much more aware about mental health. But also there are more systems that are getting better to help people. So that explains why. But also because society itself is rotten. The structure of society is designed to abuse people mentally and emotionally. This is a reality. I'm not a conspiracy theory, but the whole way culture, society, religions, the patriarchy, capitalism, colonialism, racism, all of those things, they all exist to ruin us mentally and emotionally. And so people who are in charge, people who write laws, people who are teaching kids, people who are deciding things for others, they are all over the place. And many of them, they will resist people changing and getting better because it doesn't work for their benefit. The more people are stressed out, the more they're anxious, the more they are desperate and burnt out, the easier it is for the people at the top to control and manipulate everyone else. So there's that as well. It's not just that. But yeah, I live in Germany, and getting an appointment with a therapist is almost impossible when people appear to need it more. I think there are more and more people who are going in that direction, like me. We can learn different protocols to help people, and hopefully you will get the right people that we can help, right? Instead of thinking, why is it so hard? I want you to just keep doing your best to find the right thing for you. That's it. If you think, why is it so hard? Then your mind is going to be programmed to think hard, 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 and it's going to just see obstacle instead of seeking opportunities, openings, possibilities, and hope. That's what I'd say. Everything can be hard, everything can be easy. I believe that there are more and more systems in place. I believe that a lot of systems don't work, but a lot of them also do work. And so just focus on the things that you need. Keep expanding your understanding of self and finding out what is around out there, what you can do, what you can learn to improve your mental health. Come to my live streams and we can talk about it every week if you want. Forrest, I'm just tired of finding distractions for my issues. I need to attend to like bettering myself. Okay, if you're here, to me it says that you're doing this already. You could be somewhere else. You could be gambling at a casino. You could be shopping online. unreasonably. You could be doing all sorts of different things, and yet you are here with me talking about those things. And so you are right. You have the right mindset. Things take time, you know. Keep going, and eventually, just like for Jason, just like for anyone else, healing is a journey that lasts a lifetime. And so as long as you're going in that direction, that's all that matters. Lifestyle chat. Thanks. Okay, thank you. Resilient warrior. Nothing lasts forever, and the universe always has our back. Thanks for the reminder. Yes, absolutely. We suffer more often than not from our humanity. What I mean by that is that we're suffering because we're looking at life from the position of the human, from the ego. That comes with insecurity, with fear, with shame, with all of those things that we've been taught and told by the adults in childhood. And if we can learn to look at ourselves from a different perspective, not from the ego, not from the human being, but from the observer, so this is more spiritual, now we can realize that there's a bigger picture, and we don't need to suffer our humanity as much. This is the next level of healing. Forrest, I think I may have broke myself in this chat. I'm tearing up on brink of crying because I think I finally understand my underlying issues. Aha. Let it out. My need for acceptance and longing for my father who has passed. Okay, let it out. Whatever tear that you're having is your inner child expressing itself. So you are healing. Crying is healing. Forrest, I just need to let the emotions that need to come out. Absolutely. Just to come out, like breaking a barrier. Well, finally. Yes, yes, yes. Almost like survivor guilt and high expectations of myself, okay? Don't think too much. Just focus on the emotion and the feeling. Focus on that energy. And after, you can think. Forrest, I will do this, like talk to myself in a third person perspective. Yes. Yes. The way that I often explain it is this. If you look here and there, there's not a little version of yourself on your shoulder with some horns and a spike going, oh, you suck. Your life is going to be just terrible. That voice is the recording of some people in your past. You have a recording from your past. And every morning, as soon as you wake up, you press the button, play, on the tape recorder. And it goes like this. I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve love, blah, 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 blah. And because you're allowing for that recording to be played every morning, you're listening to it and you are hypnotizing yourself. It's true, I'm not lovable. I'm pathetic. I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I will never be loved for whatever reason. We do this to ourselves. And so I want you to realize that you can grab the tape. So the joke that I always say is that it's like a tape of your best of. The best of Forrest, 1980s or 1990s, depending on your teenage years. Rip off the tape, get rid of it, and then grab the mic and speak to yourself. And now you can self-hypnotize into love, into empowerment, into hope and optimism, as opposed to hypnotizing yourself into pain, suffering, desolation, and depression. Thank you for the little heart. Motivation strive. It is more or less academic learning and retention struggle. I'm beginning to think I may have ADHD. I've been researching for 3 years now, and I think I may have it. Yes, get yourself checked. It may be ADHD. It may be some form of trauma as well. A lot of time people don't realize that CPTSD can disrupt the way we focus on things similar to ADHD. Or you may have both. Motivation strive. It could be the reason I'm always overstimulated and have problem focusing in class or in school. I'm listening to the lecturer, but my brain isn't retaining anything being said except when I study. So it sounds to me that you may be on the spectrum of something. I don't know what, and I don't know to which extent, but it's worth for you to do some research on it and to seek professional help. Go and see your GP. If you believe that you may be on the spectrum of something after having done whatever test you may have seen on the internet, then ask your GP. maybe I suspect myself to have ADHD. Could I be on the list, on the waiting list? Or if you can afford it, go private and get yourself checked and see if you have it. And diagnoses are very important, because the moment you have a diagnosis, you replace the narrative that you have about yourself. You're no longer thinking, what's wrong with me? You're thinking, ah, this is how my brain works. It's different. And so now you can actually create things, put things into place to support the special qualities of your brain, as opposed to trying to force your brain to do things that it cannot do by design or by evolution. Forrest, holy shit, it's like you know me personally. All right. I'm glad that something is happening. Thank you so much. It's really nice for me to hear this. Thank you. Thank you for understanding and helping me walk through these issues. Of course, I'm going to be here for a long time. So keep coming and see me every Wednesdays, every Friday, YouTube from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. It's something that is important to me. So unless I'm sick or something terrible happens, I will always do my best to come here. Do come back, guys. That's what I'm here for. Adalbert to Jose Gonzalez. I have to go, but you are outstanding, sir. Wish success and blessing to you. Thank you so much, Adalbert. Motivation, strive. I study a lot, but struggle with paying attention for long periods and forget a lot. Though I work so hard as I am in med school, the sheer pressure of work and expectations make it so overwhelming. So maybe there's that. So nothing is ever just this or that. So maybe you could be on the spectrum of ADHD or CPTSD, but also maybe you are putting yourself under too much stress. And so if you put yourself under a lot of stress and pressure, what happens? Your nervous system is all over the place. And so now it's going to create a system to prevent you from overload. Procrastination or lack of attention or distractions or whatever. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I don't know you, so I can't tell you yet. But I think the first thing that you want to do is to get yourself a diagnosis. Especially if you have so much studies ahead of you in med school. Forrest Berger. Weed actually calms my brain down to a relaxing point. The cigarettes are what I'm trying to quit. All right, okay. Get someone to help you with that. If you want to stop smoking, it's relatively straightforward. So people who have tools that, like the ones that I have, RTT, yeah, smoking cigarette is super straightforward. Dilara Shafi, I know what to do. I feel like I'm getting better every day, but why do I feel like my life is over even though everything is okay? I try not to care if everything ends tomorrow, but I feel attached. So again, I was talking about it briefly just before. There's often a discrepancy between what we think and how we feel. The conscious mind is cognitive. It operates through the language of thoughts, pictures, words. This is what we know. The subconscious mind utilizes the language of bodily sensations, feelings, and emotions. This is what we feel. So this is what I know. This is what I believe. So if you say, I know what to do, it's happening here. And yet you feel bad. So there's a discrepancy here between what you feel and what you think, right? And because your emotional mind is 95% of your mind, your heart, your body will always win. So you want to learn how to listen to your body. You want to listen to your emotions and feelings, learn how to understand what they mean, and learn how to connect with them and have a good relationship with them so that you can understand the root cause of your problem and what you need to do next. But again, Dolara Shafi, if you want to tell me more about you, I'm more than happy to explore this in more depth. Although I realized it's just 8 o'clock, so it's time for me to leave. I'm going to stay 5 minutes. I'm going to read the last comment, but I will be back next week. And so if I don't go in great depth with your questions, do come back. I would love to talk about anything. It's just that Now, I've been here for 2 hours, so it's time for me to resume doing other things in my life. Forrest, I don't know anyone in this chat or yourself, Didi, but I just need a hug. Lots of love to myself and everyone here. Thank you. I can feel the virtual hug, and I give it back to you as well. The Laser Surfer, your content helps me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Dolara Shafi, lots of love to you too, Forrest. Okay, nice. Pumpkin Puff, I'm happy to see so many people getting your help today and some already working towards healing. Look at all the good you do. Thank you so much, Didi. I hope you continue to have a good evening and weekend. Thank you so much. Same to you. Shal, good evening, Didi, and to all. Thank you. Good evening to you. Motivation, strive. Thank you so much, Didi. Your lives really helped me. Fantastic. Thank you. I wish you more success at Forest. I know you will make it someday. That's kind of you. Don't give up. We will make it someday. Thank you, sir. Yes, we will. All of us. Rachel Fallon, what's the best advice you give someone to stop concerning yourself with other people's opinion of you? I would love to talk about it, and I can really talk about it in great length. But it's time for me to go, I'm afraid. And so if you don't mind, if you can subscribe to my channel so that you get a notification when I'm going live next, that'd be great. I post 3 short videos every day on YouTube and TikTok. And I post 1 long form video every week on YouTube. So check it out. The one that I put on Wednesday is about the higher your standards, the lower your self-worth. And also, if you have any requests for long form video, just ask me and I will take them into consideration. And also, I come live on YouTube twice a week, every single week from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time, every Wednesdays and every Fridays. And all of my live streams can be replayed the following day once YouTube has fully uploaded the live stream. And so if you heard anything that you found interesting and you want to retrieve the information tomorrow, come on my page, go on the live section, and you will be able to find it and click on it, okay? And also, if you need some help at a professional level, there's a link on my bio to my website. So Rachel Fallon, do come back to me. I want to talk about this, but next time, please. Donna Rashi, thank you, Didi. I will be back next week. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, guys, I love you all. Look after yourself. And remember to be kind to others if you can. But if you can't, at least be kind to yourself. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.